Well, hi, and thanks for joining me here in my shop this morning. So the radio is largely working. I couldn't get it to do that hum thing, which I've been thinking a lot about on the last video. And so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the alignment over again, this time using a sweep generator. And just using a little more care with it now that I know the whole thing is working too. And maybe along the way we can sort out where that hum was coming from. I have a guess. My guess is the grounds on my equipment applied to the radio were applied in two ways. One was onto the chassis and the other one was onto the B-. This would essentially short the chassis to the B- through the power grounding system in my shop here. Now whether that would generate this weird hum effect, tune in, tune out hum thing, I don't know. So I'm going to get everything set up, and of course we're going to start with the broadcast band. The broadcast band adjustments are right on the big capacitor here. The big capacitor. Unless I'm mistaken, those adjustments will affect the entire radio, all the bands. That's why you do them first, to get that set, and then the others are all, you can almost think of them as sub-adjustments. I don't know if that's absolutely true, but I think it is. So that means if I do the broadcast band and make the adjustments on the tuning capacitor and don't get it quite right, that not quite right is going to show up in all the other bands. And we may have been seeing that because some of these shortwave bands, I could get the pointer accurate at one end but not at the other. And I wonder if that's not really where it's from. So that's what we're going to do. Concentrate on the broadcast band and just be absolutely sure it's correct. Of course, anything I do with the adjustments on the big capacitor will definitely throw off the rest of the tuning. And by the way, if you look closely now, you'll see there's a little hole in this front panel. And that little hole allows me to slide my adjusting tool in right into here, so I don't have to have this panel off. This is just in here now loose. I haven't bolted it back in, but I wanted to drill that hole. Through the front you get access to the oscillator adjustment, and through the back you get access to the antenna adjustment. Of the three of them, oscillator, antenna, and the RF one in the middle, the RF one is probably the least important to regularly check or adjust. The antenna one, I think if you put different antennas on the radio, you might want to adjust that a little bit. And the oscillator just compensates for drifting in the radio over the years. You keep the pointer accurate and get at it through here. Drilling that hole was a scary deal, trying to get that lined up, but I got it 100%, perfectly lined up. Okay, I think we're ready to get going here. I have the schematic on the screen there, and the place where I've made the connection, this capacitor sticking out here, excuse me, which is where I want to inject the sweep generator signal coming from here. So I'm looking at the schematic, and I think in the instructions it says hook up to grid number 6 on V1, and then you can power up in an isolated way the last IF transformer. Well, I'm going to be even smarter than that. See where it says blue wire coming over? Let me point with my mouse here, make it a little better. Blue wire coming from the chassis of the tuner. That blue wire comes in and hooks up to this transformer. That blue wire is very easy to find. So this blue wire goes to the plate of the mixer tube. It has the output on it, including the 455 that's headed, if there is any, that's headed for the IF. I want to inject the 455 right here. So what I've done is I've identified this terminal number 3 here very easily with the blue wire, stuck the capacitor on it. I showed you hanging out of the radio, and that's where I want to feed in the 455 signal just to do this transformer. We'll do something else when we go to do this one. So that should energize the grid here successfully and pile in the IF signal we need. Now, what IF signal? Excuse me. So I have the sweep here. It's going to go from, I want that to be 440 Okay, 440. And I want it to go up to, that's 15 below 455. And I go 15 above 455 is 470. There we are. So that's going to sweep right through the IF. It's going now. And we'll see the response on the scope. And I have the scope connection here, which is picking up the AVC voltage on the far side of a resistor. So the AVC voltage is, I won't say anymore. I think I got it right. What I was going to say is not right. Therefore, I will not say it. So I think I'm on the detector side of that resistor. Very low impedance place. Found out before, it doesn't seem to affect the radio much at all. Hooking up the scope here, so I'm pretty happy with that arrangement. So we should turn everything on now. And what have I got on the antenna here? I've got my external antenna on it. Don't want that. I'm going to have it on the broadcast band. So it's actually on the loop antenna. Let me set it there. That's it for sure. Okay, and all I got to do is just make this connection. And that'll input this signal, which is low. Set quite low right now. And the results should show up on the scope. Okay, I think we're ready. Radio switch is on. Volume is right down almost completely. Power on. So I think what we're looking at here is the output of the IF. What we're hearing, we're seeing right here. But if I put this a little further down, or put the scope a little further into the circuit, maybe we wouldn't see any of this. Not sure it'll matter. It's the DC voltage we're interested. That's not true. Well, let's carry on for now. Maybe I haven't got this in the best spot. Inject the signal. So the low impedance of the signal generator has just kiboshed all that stuff. Now I'll pump in the signal generator signal here. Do you see the little bump occur right there? Okay, we'll give it a little more oomph. There we are. Okay, so we got a little bit of a problem here, an instrument problem. So you can see the peak is wandering back and forth a little bit. There's some instability in my sweep generator. But probably pretty good actually. So the way I've set this up, the 455 should occur right in the center if I have the display balanced. Let me shrink the display a little bit. And put it right in the middle. Starting 1, 2, 3 divisions this way. 1, 2, and not quite 3 that way. So unfortunately it's doing this thing here. Son of a gun. This might make this impossible to do. So well, it looks like a dirty control doing that. Son of a gun, look at that. A little troubleshooting now. I think so. So I'm changing the stop point of the sweep when I'm doing that. So I've decalibrated my sweep. Oh boy, look at that. That's probably the one right there. Man alive, what are you going to do about that? You know, unless it's perfectly stable, I don't think I can use this. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. I have options. So my generator's been running for a while now while I've been goofing around, but it looks pretty stable now. It's really pretty good. But I may as well continue with my other option, which is another one of those. So this is one I acquired myself, which began to give some trouble in my shop, and I commented on it, and someone mailed me up this one. Thank you very much. And I've been using this one since. But here's the thing. The difficulty I had with this one, I was having before I discovered, see this splitter here, which is still on the machine. Subsequent to retiring this guy for a while, I discovered that these things have a pad in them. These ones, these squarish ones. And I was using this without knowing it, that I was doing something to the output there. I didn't realize I was doing. This could have been the problem. This could have been the problem. So I'm going to transfer the leads from here. I've already transferred one of them. I'm going to transfer the leads from this sweep to this one. And we're going to run with this sweep and see if it's any different. But in the meantime, my scope has settled down quite a bit. Maybe what I'll do is I'll leave this one running. I won't actually turn it off. I'll just leave it going, and we'll just switch over to that one. So let me get everything all set up here to do that. Okay, so that sets the sweep range right around the IF. Right, 440, 470, perfect. Sweep on. Back to looking at the scope here. Let me bring it back in the center. Ground. Right there. Whoops. And a little bigger and center it. Right there. Assumably 455 is right in the middle. There's the peak. Increase the strength of the sweep signal. You certainly hear something happen right there. That looks pretty good. What's that tell us? I'm gonna, because I've got this expanded so much, it's actually hard to see if there's any real distortions in it. It looks a little bit distorted. So let me, if I make the sweep wider, it'll in effect shrink this. So let's do that. So we'll set the sweep wider. So we'll go down to 4. We'll go 10, 430. Let's try. Let's go really big. 405. We'll take this down to 4. Oh, I can't get there this way. 405. 405. 405. So that's 50 below 455. Now we'll go 50 above 455. 50 above 455 would be 505. 505. Okay, that should give us a sharper looking thing. Now we can be pretty sure this is 455. It's the shape we're interested in. So it doesn't look perfectly symmetrical to me. These never seem to look perfectly symmetrical. But it sure looks pretty good. What do I think I could do with that? I don't know. Let's see if we can mess it up a bit. So if we change the, how wide this is, if we can, or make this come down a lot further, we'll change the tonal output quality of the radio quite a bit, make it sound a lot different. Hard to tell just doing this. In fact, you know what? Oops, turned it right off. Just turn the volume down a little bit here. So I'm just fooling around here. I don't think this is going to make any difference really to the operation of the radio. What's up here? Did I forget how these were done? I thought they were done with this flat one. Maybe we shouldn't fool around too much. Maybe that's a big mistake here. Probably is. Basic message is the shape is good, the position is good, it's not way off, there's nothing stupid going on there. We're looking at the shape of only one IF right now. So I'm going to back up the input signal so we get, but no, that's not true. We got both IFs on here. Both IFs are on here. Yeah. I think that's good. I don't think we can do much more of that. Okay. Stop. So what would be good to do next? We can still use the sweep through the AM radio band, and we'll examine that, and that's really where I think there's some benefit. I kind of suspected the IF would look good. Okay, let's see if I got this arranged correctly or not. So again, the blip is sitting right here. As I tune the radio, the blip should travel. That's not the volume control. What the heck is going on here? Let's turn this down. It's got really loud up in here. I'm feeding the signal right in on this AM band. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to feed it in with, yeah, I'm doing this wrong. Doing it wrong. Okay, so I have a sweep just running on this very simple coil here. That's the sweep generator output. I'll stick it by the radio antenna. Do it this way. Obviously it's going to work. Let's watch what's going on with the scope here. Much better. So I wish I could cut the sound down in the shop here, but I can't. So I'm afraid you're going to hear this. Back off volume controls on my microphones here. And let's just watch and see what happens. What just happened there? What happened? The treble just disappeared. Ah. It's all done. We have another phenomenon going on now too that I'm not sure how to explain exactly, but I've got a nice steady sweep signal sweeping through the entire band. You'd expect to see the peak on the scope the same all the way across, but it really isn't. Look at that. How can this possibly happen? Another signal on the antenna at that location? Okay, we'll kill the sweep here. What is that? Wait, that's the sweep. Well, it's picking up lots of stuff. I mean, there's lots of powerful noise signals here to pick up. I was kind of hoping we'd overwhelm it with this guy. Let's try and overwhelm it. It put a strong enough signal in from the sweeper. The AVC should quiet down the radio, and we shouldn't hear any other effects. Stronger signals indicated. Volume's minimum now. Tune. It's a funny area of instability right in here. Another one right here. Hard to see, but in detail there's funny little shimmers going on in here that don't happen at other spots. I think there's another signal right there. Off with the sweep. Turn up the volume here. That's a pretty strange sounding thing. Tune around just a little bit. It can be very confusing doing this with noise. A lot of noise is not modulated. It produces a strong AVC signal, and so you hear a deadening as you go through it, but there's no audio material to hear. Meanwhile, there's other noises right there that do have audio modulation you can hear. It's just quite confusing. So I think there's a very strong signal right there. We could know. Shouldn't we know on the scope? Well, what I'm thinking is, shouldn't there be an AVC voltage that shows up on the scope there? There is one. It's just really very small. Where were we? I've lost track of where we were. But you see, there are strong noise signals all through here. With that built-in loop antenna, I can't really, I can't shut it off. Still doesn't want to pick up stations when it's up on its side like this. Where are we getting with all this? We're getting really nowhere using the sweep. The sweep is not helping me, whoops, at all. I think what we want to do is verify the local oscillator is correct on this band. This is really what I wanted to do today. So let's do that. So I'll tune this into 600. And then I'll force the signal generator to 600 fixed. The sweep generator can be used as a fixed generator. Just keep your eye on the numbers there, but you should hear it too as soon as I figure out how to do all this. So we want to do the start frequency. I think we need to turn it on first. That helps. So the frequency is 528. And we want it up to 600. This is just a little tough to adjust nice and smoothly, as you can see. That's because I've got this up on 5. Let's do this. This will be easier for me to adjust. 600. Very sensitive. $600 on the loop. Just increasing the strength a little bit. Let's watch on the scope here. We'll use the scope as our ABC meter. Just watch the dot. Notice those clicks. Can you see those clicks? You can kind of see them popping all the way down to the top of my finger here. Okay, now that's me increasing the signal going to the radio and decreasing it again. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase it a bit. I'm going to tune the radio. See where that dot is lowest on the scope. Make it a little more sensitive yet. Right to the lowest spot. That's about the lowest there. The frequency, let's see, what do we got on the dial? So we're still on the 600 dot, no question. And we're 600. So oscillator very good. Oh, just got guillotined by my camera. So we'll go to the other end and find out what's happening down there. Just got generally louder. I'm going to change microphones here. It might just be a little better. Okay. I'll get there. There we go. Okay, so we'll try to, this is tricky on the high frequency here, tune this in as that's about as good as I can get it there. 1500 down below. How close are we? Right on the money. Okay. Okay. Okay, there's a whole pile of nonsense in here. Basically, the radio is properly aligned on the broadcast band in terms of the oscillator. That means all the rest of the oscillators are going to be set relatively okay. It's as good as this radio is going to get. So I really think the next thing for me to do is put it all back together, because I don't think I can wring any more out of it. Didn't hear any of that hum stuff. I really think the hum stuff had something to do with the way I had this operating in my shop. And then the next thing I got to think about is I got 2 sweep generators here. I only got room for 1 in my shop. What am I going to do? Let's put this radio back together and take a look at it. Oh, I've been working away for quite a while here trying to put this radio back together. This is not a friendly radio to work on, no doubt about it. So somehow I'm trying to get this back in without removing this entire front panel and all the strings. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So I got it out, but can't seem to get it back in. So I've loosened the brackets here that are holding this whole front plate on and everything. And if this doesn't go well, it's just going to fall off and all the strings are going to come off. And then I'm going to stop for the day. So let's see if I can avoid that. I'm trying to sneak this guy in past this edge here. And trying to get it in behind with these screws sticking. Hey, maybe I can work these screws back. Maybe that's part of the secret. No, they'll just be interfering in a different way. That's what will happen there. So just to watch what I'm trying to do, I got to get these screws into this slot, and then swing this up behind here, but get this to pass by here, which is just about impossible to do. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to slowly increase the clearances by loosening parts until I can sneak it in. Sneak it in is right. So the real problem here is not the bracket I loosened off. The real problem here is this plate has to move relative to this bracket. That's what I really got to get happening here. This plate's not a big deal. I don't think the plate's a big deal. Come to think of it. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm showing how I'm managing to do this for others who might have the same radio or going through all the same stuff. Again, I'm not taking this panel right off because all the strings come off at that point. So I've loosened the panel off with its 4 screws, but it's still held fairly tight by 1 screw in the back here. One screw to the, there's a spot welded bracket right here. But it's given enough flexibility now, I think I can work this in. So I dipped this front edge of the plate under this black plate and managed to get the screws here to go into these slotted long slots. See, they have a long slot up here, but the bottom screw is a small slot. That's a hint that you get this guy in and then slide him up. That's a hint on that, I think. So here we go. I have to get the clearance through here. And as I push on this plate, I'm pushing against all the strings and the springs and everything in here. Actually, look at this, it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Another thing I did was I took out the 3V4 tube that was going to be kind of in the way too. That's how I got it in. I got it in. Sort of got it in. Okay, so that's a huge hurdle jumped right there. I just saved myself a massive amount of difficult work. So I think that's what I think at this point. Anyway, so now let's see what happened with the speaker. If it really got into the right place back here. Just disconnect these things here. Come off anyway. Power. So there's the speaker in there. You have to make connections to the speaker down here. It's going to be tough too. So I'm going to paint this little switch housing here, which sits at the front of the radio and will collect dirt and any moisture right on top of it, and the whole thing has gone rusty. And even when you put the bezel back on, still most of it is visible through here. And you know, you're going to look at it. When you look at the front of the radio, you're going to see that. So I'm going to paint it. Unfortunately, I can't find any black paint, so I've got this kind of brownish, yucky colored stuff here. I was thinking about spray painting this, but you know, brush painting would be a lot easier. So I've already sanded it as best I could. Not all that well. So this is just to make the rust disappear. Now the visible part's up here, actually. Just your eye won't be pulled to this if I get rid of the rust, because everybody knows what rust looks like. And rust has a message associated with it. A couple messages. Old, dilapidated, valueless, failing. Those are all bad messages. An old, rusty thing. So it's not going to look like new, but it's going to look a lot better. I thought about spray painting this, and then suddenly realized that none of them will brush paint it. So here we are. Looks horrible, but looks better. Looks horrible, but looks better. Okay. Once again, when you take something that looks ugly and say it looks ugly like it's 10%, it looks terrible. So you raise it up to 90%, and you're really proud because you took the 10% and made it 90%. When you show it to somebody, they'll see the remaining 10%. Disappointing deal, isn't it? Ah, such is life. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and then carry on. Okay, so I'm fitting the glass back into the glass frame here. A bunch of bumpers that need to be on. And the glass is held just by some bent tabs. Bumpers here. The bumpers go on where the tabs squeeze down on the glass. So the glass is actually held by rubber, not by metal. That's kind of the idea. Let's see if we can fit it in now. You can see the level of corrosion left on the inside up there. You can see just how bad it is. So I cleaned this glass very, very carefully when it was out. I used a special glass cleaner. The hint here is lots of automotive cleaning products are really good for radios like this. So there's a product you can get. The one I have is really intended for cleaning the bend these tabs back a little further. Cleaning the your headlights, because the headlamp plastic gets a little foggy. So I have this product. I'm sure there's quite a few different products that'll do it. But I use that on lots of things. It has ammonia in it, which gives it some kind of cleaning power. And it really does a number on glass. Better than just, you know, a little Windex and stuff like that. Just popped off. So I'm trying not to touch the glass, but not possible. So lots of fiddly stuff when you fix a radio. It's not all capacitors. There. This one came off. That's good. There we go. Okay, so I'll just bend down the tabs now, the holding tabs. I have to do it with my hands because I can really tell how much pressure I'm putting on everything, as opposed to using a tool. course, I've repainted this. You're looking at the wrong side of it here. Okay, oh, this one. Seems pretty solid. Voila! That's a thing of beauty. And that just goes up here. See, it has some words here. Flip around this way. Fits on like so. Beautiful. So I just got to take a little bit of the dust that knocked into it here out, and then I'm going to mount it on there. And then it's pretty much right into the cabinet. Pretty much. Happy about going in there. Might get a little rust on the threads. That's all it is. That's looking a little nicer. Okay, now I have time here. Okay, so on this radio, when I'm moving the tuning knob, sometimes the volume control, which is right here, starts turning too, and this causes lots of trouble. I'm just going to throw a little bit of WD-40 in here to try to loosen up the this up. Didn't feel like it made much difference. Okay, maybe it'll take a little bit of time to kind of penetrate in there. Okay, now. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm watching the volume control. It's rubbing on it. So the rubbing is not the knob. The rubbing is something else. Okay, I'll put this guy on. These are not very nice looking knobs. This way. Ooh. Not too bad. Now it's into the cabinet from here. And then I'll count up the number of nuts and bolts I have left over. Okay, just realized I have my main mics off the last little bit, so what I just realized is I need to put a new power cord on this guy. Okay, I'll do that. That's easy. So I'm going to want to put a grommet in here because it's just a metal hole in the chassis the power cord's going through. I want to protect the cord a little bit. Okay, I think I'm ready for a test here. So here's what it looks like. It's heavy. This is heavy. This is heavy without the batteries. Man, if you have the batteries in here. There's the spare antenna and the like. Okay. Cabinet is in great shape. And that's looking pretty good too. So, I wonder how well this guy works. Let's find out. Got a nice new power cord. This will be plugged in for the first time, so hopefully I didn't boob up the power cord. The switch is off. The band is AM. Okay, power on. Oh, you know what? He's always son of a gun. I didn't wire up the speaker. Oh, man. Ah. Okay, I'm calm, I'm calm. Oh, don't tell me I have to take the radio back out of the cabinet. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Well, I might be able to do it in the cabinet. You know, yeah, I'm not taking this radio out of the cabinet. I'm gonna fight my way through it to get to those terminals up there. Oh, man. Duh. Ooh, that took about a half an hour to get that in there. But while I'm doing that, I realize I also left out the 3V42. So this set was not going to work anyway. Torturous things I've done to this radio. Hope it's still working. Okay, let's get it together here. Ooh, that was the sound of a camera hitting the concrete floor. Oh, that's too bad. That's happened quite a few times now. This is the battery compartment up here, but of course we're not putting any batteries in it. Well, I think it's going to come on this time. I think I've thought of everything I had to think of. It's definitely a beast of a radio. Okay, I think we're set to go here. You're seeing some blue up in here. That's a reflection of the camera you're looking through. There's little blue lights on it. Power's in. Switch is off. Power's on. Come on, baby, do it. Do your thing. Da 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 da. Pick something up, come on. That's the secret. You gotta yell at this radio a bit. Beautiful. Better reception this way.
Le ministre d'Alberta, M. Kenney, Paul, a dit que le prochain chef conservateur doit, je le cite, maîtriser les deux langues officielles. C'est bien joli, là. Mais ce qu'on voit comme candidat leadership actuellement, c'est vrai.
Looks like it's a little off scale though. I think that should be 840. Closer.
Justement par le fait qu'elle ne parle pas un français désastreux. Parce que le français de Peter McKay l'est. Le français de...
We're talking about Canadian politics, of course. Just get a little better lighting here for you.
Non. Il faut se rappeler qu'il y a déjà eu une génération de jeunes conservateurs qui ont bien appris le français. Stephen Harper, Jason Kenney, James Moore.
The problem is that the glass is reflecting in my shop, and you're seeing the reflections, and it makes it hard to look at.
Il y a un peu
Okay.
la même vieille histoire que
Let's go back. 740. Very good. 680. Excellent. 640 next.
558138723 or TorontoClass.com. You'll either receive their professional
Fantastic. 590. Good. That's good. That's really good. Let's go on the short wave band here. So hook up to these two screws. So I get my external antenna, which I'm pretty sure is not switched to the shop here. So it's on AM right now, so this shouldn't make much difference. It did make a little bit. Okay, flip it around. That could be the difference between this antenna making contact and not making contact. Not sure if that really worked out. So I'm just going to disappear for a moment, and as soon as I tip the radio on a different angle, the antenna's not pointing correctly now. I got to run down and throw a switch. What we'll do is we'll switch to, not that way. We'll try WWV at 10 megahertz. Okay, I'm gonna go throw a switch. Maybe it'll pop on while I'm gone. Let's see. I don't hear it. Okay, so we're going to try WWV at 15. Well, that's it. Okay, so it's a little off. What happened to it? My antenna connection's crapola. Antenna connection's crapola back here. Let me fix it. That's as good as it's gonna get. Still bad. Oh. WWV. So 15 is right there, and it's just a little off.
this experience we have. This reinforce your own. Music in time, not the beginning, right? Or transport it to, as you say, transcendentally, some other dimension of the universe, not in this physical. So this is nothing really very unusual. Just you didn't have it before. Yeah, you will have it again if you want.
Just can't escape the light problems here.
Sometimes you really also get out of the body.
Hello.
We do that. This is just a simple experience, like we leave the body. And then we travel to different stars and moons and universes and learn things directly from heaven. There's a gateway to go. There's a key to open it.
Oh, that's so-so. Dark as can be in here now. So I don't know what that lady was talking about, but whoa, pretty strange stuff. And we'll just go down the band here. You're not going to get anything down here. There's nothing down here to get. What other band might be alive and well right now? 11 and 9. So we'll try 9. Down here. No. Okay, try 11.
Imprescindible. Sus creaciones forman parte del patrimonio musical cubano. Su danzón, el bombín de las rocas.
It's going to be Radio Cuba, or it's going to be Radio Marti, American Cuban broadcasting.
Panamá ordenó la liberación inmediata. Marco Vera, detenido en el país por el caso Odebrecht, tras declarar ilegal la medida cautelar de detención.
I don't know what language that is. Oh, here he is again. Well, that's on Spanish. So again, this could be Cuba, could be Radio Marti, could be other things. So that sounds Middle Eastern to me. It sounds like Arabic.
That's the exact same pattern here. When we come back, though, let's talk about why this virus, why the UN is supporting China and the draconian measures.
It's another, yeah, I know who that is. The world would be better off without his voice on the radio, I would say. But what can you do? So, here we are. I think that's really great. So, just to recap. This radio was dead 5 times over. It had a dead IF in it. IF transformer I replaced. All the capacitors, of course. All the filter power supply capacitors. And then a tune-up, and here it is. Fantastic. It's very, very difficult. Did I mention it? Soldering those wires back onto that speaker took like almost half an hour. But there it is. All done. Wow, I got myself a suitcase radio. Transoceanic style radio. Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for watching. And I'm going to have that out on my deck this summer, listening to it. It's working pretty good. Thanks again, and wonder what's going to be on my bench next.